It was unbelievable. Well, now they're picking up in 24 countries. They pick up 220,000 kids a week now. But in this one place, he has 50 buses running for 3 different services every week. 50 buses. And I don't remember the number, but it's in the thousands, like 20 to 30,000 kids a week in this one place. Just unbelievable story. But this will convict you and think, wow, I thought I was doing everything I could.
Yeah.
But apparently, not quite. The story of Baton Rouge and Brother Spell's ministry there. They're running at the time, I don't see Brother Parker here, I'd like to ask him a question. But at the time it was 27 buses, and knowing them it's probably grown since I've been there.
Yeah.
And it started because one man decided we need a bus ministry. And at the time, and I'm just going to be very open, back there it's a different world than it is here. It is very race conscious, and it was a big deal to pick up someone of another race. It was a big deal, to the point when they baptized the first black person in their church, people left the church, and he said, I don't care, get out of here.
Yeah.
Better, get out. We don't need you anyway. But Brother Spell had a burden, and he had opposition that just goes on and on. Anyway, they didn't have a bus, so he went out and he said, well, I don't want people to say that the church finances. So he paid it out of his own pocket. He paid the insurance out of his own pocket. He paid the gas out of his own pocket. And he started running one bus after another, and he would buy them out of people's backyards and fix them up and get them running. They had like, I can't remember how many they had after just a few months. And he had drivers driving for him, and he was paying their gas. And finally the drivers took it on themselves and said, you're not paying my gas. I'm paying the gas. I'm paying my insurance for my bus. Long story short, they have 27 now. They pick up over 600 kids every week. When we were there, the last committed service, we picked up 635 kids or something. We had 38 people get the Holy Ghost or something that Sunday. Just unbelievable, because one man had a burden. And their work ethic is just unbelievable. It's crazy. You can't keep up with them. All Sunday, all Saturday long, it's outreach, calling. Sunday, he's there at 6 a.m., calling his kids. He drives his own bus, gets off the bus when he gets to the church, goes inside, preaches, works the altars, get back on the bus, drops the kid off, then goes to choir practice and has night service. So it's got to be, if nobody else decides to come to outreach, I'll be there.
Yeah.
And it has to be your decision. It can't be somebody calling you and say, hey, did you go on outreach this week? It's yes, I went on outreach. That's who I am. I'm a bus worker. If no one else drives, I'm going to be the one that drives. Brother Julian, this story, he was actually at this conference 2 years ago, and someone was talking about bus ministry and driving, and he was thinking, man, why don't we have more drivers in our church? And he's thinking, you know what, why don't this person drive? They don't do anything. They could drive. He's thinking about somebody else, oh, they could drive. I mean, what else do they do? And he said, honestly, God stopped him and said,
Yeah.
I'm not calling them, I'm calling you.
All right.
He said, what about you? And he thought, yeah, I guess I could drive. And so now he has his driver's license, and he's a commercial driver. And he's running our bus ministry and doing a great job. Just started a new one in Muscoy, which is a city north of us. So we're excited about that. But it's got to be, if nobody else does follow-up during the week, I'm going to. If nobody else prays, I'm not going to get mad at what somebody else is not doing. I'm going to do what Brother Wang said, and I'm going to control the factors I can.
Yes.
I'm going to pray even more. If nobody else fasts, I'm going to be the one that fasts for my kids. If nobody else makes the bus ride fun, I will. I'm going to make my bus fun. If nobody else decorates the bus, I'm going to be the one that decorates the bus. I'll give snacks away. If I have to do it, I'll do it. I will take ownership of my route.
Yes.
So if nobody else, if you don't get anything else out of this session, if you want your bus level to go to the next levels, you have to care more than anybody else. You have to care more than anybody else and do more than anyone else. So what's the point of bus ministry? It's not to get a number. It's not to say we have we just added a new bus just so we can, say we have 8 routes or we pick up X number of kids. That's not why we do it. It's to see the kids we pick up saved, discipled, and living for God on their own. Everything we do has to funnel into, are we seeing these kids saved? We can't just entertain them. We can't just pick them up. We can't just have fun with them. We must see them saved. And this is where I'm getting with all this, is that'll never happen with just an hour at Sunday school. Ever. You can't, all the things that are on the other end of their scale. Now, it really has bothered me for a long time. Why are we okay? And I say this casually. I don't mean that we really are okay with this, but why does it seem like we're okay with kids becoming teenagers and then leaving? And we never see them again. And that's just the pattern that we're okay with. Yeah. Why are we okay with kids coming since they're 4 years old and now they're 16 and they're too old and too cool and now they don't want to come anymore? I really don't think that's the pattern that God's established. Now I know God can use what we put in them later. I know He can. He can bring them back, and they know where there's an apostolic church, and if they get serious about God, they can come back. I don't think it's His will for them just to leave. Yeah. So how do we hang on to these kids? They're going to make their own decisions. We can't program them. They're humans. They're going to decide what they want to do. But we can make it hard for them to leave. We can make that decision a lot more difficult. My dad tells this story, and every time he does, this gets me so bad. But there was a preacher, and he was out fishing, and they were catching a lot of fish. But he was fishing with a guy, and that guy, every time he caught a fish, he'd put it in his ice chest. Every time the pastor got one, he'd hold it up and say, "Look at that fish." Take a picture of it and throw it back in. And that was the pattern of the day. The ice chest was filling up, and his camera was filling up. Well, as the day went, this pastor was actually trying to witness to this man the whole time and telling him, "You need to come to church, man. You need to come to church." And finally, the guy said he had enough. He said, "Pastor, I'm going to let you know. The reason I'm not coming to your church is I don't want to be like those fish. He said, I don't want to be somebody that you take a picture of, we baptize this guy, post it on Instagram, then you just throw it away for the next one." He said, "I want to keep my fish." He said, "I want someone that's going to take care of me." And I don't know the situation, I don't know the background of that pastor, I don't know if that was really where he was at. But I don't want to ever be guilty of that on our buses. Yeah. Are we really all about posting on Instagram and saying, "Oh, we had a full bus today," and then we don't care actually about the kids that are in it? Now we're just going to let them go and get another batch because there's more out there. We got to care about these kids. Yes. We got to make the choice difficult for these kids when it's time for them to make decisions. Their lives are going to start getting complicated. When they're young, their parents make all the decisions for them. Their schedules are predictable. They don't have a lot going on. But as life progresses, things are going to come up. And when they decide between all the things they got to deal with in life and 1 hour of Sunday school, that choice is just way too easy sometimes. So these kids, on one side of the equation, maybe they have unsafe friends, they got sports, they got families, they got prom night, they got girlfriends, jobs, sometimes they even got college decisions, career choices, Hollywood, maybe it's addictions of some kind, all pulling at them. And on the other side, we have 1 hour of Sunday school weighing against the rest of the week of all of those things pulling against them. We have Jesus on our side, the ultimate wild card. We understand that, and I'm not downplaying that in the least. But we must have more than that 1 hour. Yes, that's right. Now, we don't have all the answers, I'm telling you. But we got to have, and this is the key word, is connections to these kids outside of Sunday school. We must connect to them outside. Now, I know there's exceptions to every success story. But how many kids have we seen change from bus kids to church kids based solely off of Sunday school? It usually doesn't happen. It's usually someone that takes them under their wing and it becomes their friend. They're going to take them to all the church events. They're going to take them to Bible study. And it's a mentoring thing. Yes. It's a discipleship one-on-one, and that's when the transformation happens. It doesn't happen with a busload of kids. Bring them, have Sunday school, and take them. It just doesn't happen. Sunday school and bus ministry is an incredible place to start, but it's just a starting point. Having them get the Holy Ghost is just incredible. There's nothing like seeing someone that you knocked on their door get the Holy Ghost. I will never forget the first person I saw speak in tongues that I invited. It was absolutely life-changing. I'll never forget it. But that's not the end. Once they get the Holy Ghost, we don't just drop them and look for the next one. Now we got to make the other side of that life teeter-totter either slanted toward church, or at least surely we can make the decision difficult for them. We've got to make the decision whether or not they're going to come to another day of Sunday school, or whether they're going to stay home. Much more difficult, and the answer already is more connections. We've got to tie into the church in every way possible. And the best connection is someone who's just going to be their friend. And this is key here. It usually is someone on their same age level that can connect with them better than adults.
Sure.
And I'm going to explain that. We have a girl that we've been picking up for a long time. Julian and Kim have been trying to give her a Bible study. They've been trying to ask her to come to youth prayer. They've been asking her to come to all these events. And it's probably been a couple months, and she said no every time. Until Danae and Erica, you guys raise your hand real quick. How old are you guys?
14, 15.
Both of you 14?
I'm 15.
14 and 15 years old until they asked her. And then they asked, hey, you want to come to a Bible study and to Monday night prayer? And all of a sudden, she said yes. And she went with them. And Julian and Kim were like, really? Like, what are we, chopped liver? We've been asking you for 2 months. But when they asked her, it really did change the dynamic, because now it's a friend asking. This is not my Sunday school teacher or my bus driver.
Right.
This is someone that is now a friend. And they took them to, anyway, there's a relationship starting there. And it's exciting. So neat. But a personal Bible study is awesome. On a different day of the week is great. 2 connections. They're going to get a lot more. You're going to get more out of a one-on-one Bible study than you will in a group setting in a Sunday school classroom. Bring them to events. Bring them to every event that you can. You can't bring them all, but you can bring some.
Yeah.
You can bring the ones that you have a connection to. We have just a regular Sunday night service. We don't do anything different on a Sunday night. But our bus workers have started bringing kids on their own. It's not organized. It's not our Sunday school buses going out. It's not our vans going out. It's them asking friends, do you want to come with me to church? And all of it's done correctly, as far as it's never a one-on-one. You always have someone else in the car with you. Just, you got to do the common sense stuff. But they bring them all the time, and now we're seeing these kids that were distant, and now they're not distant. Now they're part of the church. They're just part of the culture. And it's exciting, because we're seeing bus workers become soul winners.
Yeah.
We have Monday night basketball and youth prayer. So it's youth prayer, and then afterwards they hang out, and it's such a great time to bring them, invite them to stuff like that. So the prayer meeting is always great, and then they get to know these people outside of suit and tie day. They realize that they're not just geeks, they're not just people that they can't connect with. Oh, these are real people. These are fun people. I could be friends with these guys.
Right.
And it really does make it so much, the walls just get torn down. Youth trips, youth explosion, youth connect. If you're going to Magic Mountain, youth family days, night services, Sunday night, midweek for the younger ones, junior camp, MIT, the Daughters of Zion that we have just for the little kids. Bring them to those events. We have junior camp, and we try to sponsor some every year to go. We have people in church that will pay for them. Now, I know the dynamics. I know how it works. I've been in bus ministry long enough to know you can't bring them all to those settings. Some of them just won't last 5 days in the mountains. I understand that. So you do have to be selective. And you can do something with everybody, though. You can take some to smaller events. You can surely pick up someone and take them to McDonald's. I mean, we can do anything for an hour. I don't care if they're climbing the walls. We can figure that out. But we had I think it was this last Sunday morning. Sister Sarah was in class, and we had our typical kids' church. And there was this little boy. His name is Zai. If you guys know Zai on Red Route, he is a handful. He's like, if you had to handpick 2 of the craziest kids in the class, it's him and Kalai. I mean, they're nuts. They're crazy. In fact, Kalai's this kid. He was asking Julian. He goes, "Hey, where's Poodle?" Who? Where's Brother Poodle? He's like, "Brother Poodle? I don't know Brother Poodle." He said, "Where's Brother Poodle?" He's like, "I don't know." He's like, "Come here." He gets right in his ear. He goes, "Poodle!" Like that would make it all clear. The louder you scream, the more clear it is. Well, he's like, "Dude, I don't know what you're talking about." When he pulls up and he sees me, he's like, "Poodle! There's Poodle!" He's that guy. He's a kid. And you're like, "Where did you get that?" He's like, "Oh." But that's Kalai. He's funny. So Sunday morning he tells Sarah, or Zai does, but he's next to Kalai, and he said, "Hey, I hear you have Sunday school on Sunday night." And she goes, "Well, not really. we don't have Sunday school, but we have service." He goes, "Well, how come nobody knocks on my door on Sunday night?" We said, "Well, it's different. It's a Sunday. It's just church." He goes, "Well, I want to come." Wow. She's like, "Okay." Well, when they told me they were coming, I was just like, "Oh man, okay, get the handcuffs here." They're wild. Well, those 2 boys came, Kalai and Zai. They came, And it was one of those services where everybody just filters out of the front, and there's worshiping. I didn't see this, but she told me later, she said she was up there praise singing, and she had to stop because she looks down, and Kalai and Zai are sitting there, tears running down their face in the altar. Didn't have a clue what they were feeling, didn't even understand what they were feeling, but these boys are just praying, didn't even know. So Julian's praying with them, just trying to explain what they're feeling, because those little boys felt something that they hadn't felt in a long time. So we need to make the choices. We need to wait down that teeter-totter on the side of God for these kids. Let me go through some of this. So I don't remember who it was. What was it, you, brother, that mentioned the importance of getting their phone numbers? Was that you? So getting contact with these kids is really important. Now, you got to be. I don't have to qualify everything, I hope, but obviously me calling a 7-year-old girl is weird. I'm not doing that, okay? But I am going to call their parents and ask to talk to them or whatever. So you got to use wisdom with everything you do, okay? If you're going to do a text with the kid, put someone else in on the chat so everybody knows. Okay, I'm going to text, but someone else is in on it, so it's a 3-way chat. So everything's covered. But touch base with them. So there was a family, and there's 9 kids in it. It's a big family, but there's a boy named Christopher in that family. And again, I keep mentioning Julie and Kim. Huh? There's 11 now? Wow. Okay, well, when we started picking up, there was 8. So there's 11. That was 3 years ago. Okay. Actually, might have been longer. But there's a lot of kids. But there was this boy, and he really just became attached to Julie and Kim. And so they said, "Why don't you come over to the house and play with the kids?" Well, at first it was real, just a learning experience for everybody. But then it became a commonplace thing where he'd go over there and just play with them, and it was just like an out for this kid. He just loved it. Well, then they disappeared, and CPS came and took them all from their parents, and we didn't see them for a long time. Well, out of the blue, they get a call from Christopher, and he said, "Hey, do you remember me?" And he's like, "Yeah, I remember." He goes, "Can I come over again? Because I just remember how that all happened." Well, they said absolutely, talked to their parents, made sure everything was cool. Christopher came over. Well, now, how many of them were we picking up again on Green Bus?
Picking up like 7 or 8 of them.
7 or 8 of them now. From that one call from Christopher, we didn't even know they were back in town. We always knock doors, but we don't always see them. But now they're all coming back in because he had their phone number, and that contact was made, and he knew I could call them.
Yeah.
We could call them. And I just keep telling stories, but I'm going to tell this one too. I was at the church a couple weeks ago. We got a knock on the office door. I run out there, and there's a lady there. And she said, "I need to talk to somebody." I said, "Okay, like pastor?" She goes, No, I don't know her name, but there's a girl from your church I need to talk to. Okay, well, I'm trying to wade through all this. So is it a good conversation or bad? I'm trying to figure this out. But she said, "I don't remember her name, but she's blonde and has a long skirt." Cool. We narrowed it down to about half the people in the church. Okay. So we kept trying to figure it out. Okay, where did you live? And well, they pick up my kids on bus ministry. Okay, cool. Okay, I know the route. So where was it? Well, it was over in this area of the city. I'm okay. That's purple route. It had to be Liz or Joy or Emily. Okay, what does she look like? So he started describing her. I pull out my phone. I pull up the church directory and had a picture of Joy. I said, "Is this her?" She said, "Yeah, that's her. That's her. That's Joy. That's Joy." I said, "Okay, you want to talk to her?" She said, "Yes, I want to talk to her." Well, I called Joy. Hey, this lady wants to talk to you. She said, "Sure, yeah, I'll talk to her." So give her the phone. I step away just because I didn't want to. Anyway, the lady was very emotional by that time, so I knew something was going on. So I give her the phone. She leaves. I talked to Joy later. I said, "Joy, what on earth was that all about?" Well, the lady moved. She's in LA. Her kids got taken away from her. She's homeless, living in the car now, I guess. There's a development or something since then. But she told Joy, she said, "Bottom line is, I didn't know who else I could call in this whole world but you." Because she would come pick up my kids for Sunday school. And she literally had nobody else she could think of in this world to talk to. She didn't know her name, but she knew she loved her kids. And she came from LA, drove out to Rialto. It's about a 45-minute to an hour drive. And she just wanted to talk to her. Joy was there at their one house, maybe 5 minutes a week. A couple minutes picking up the kids and a couple minutes dropping them off. The mom had never came to Sunday school on her own. but that relationship in 2.5 minutes picking up and 2.5 dropping out, that 5 minutes a week was enough for that mom to say, this is who I'm going to call when I get something going on. So they're still working through the situation. It looks like at this point, Joy is actually going and meeting with the mom and possibly with the kids later. And so anyway, it's a neat deal. We're praying about it. But that's the kind of relationships we need to create with these kids. This is a very relational ministry.
Yeah.
You're never going to win anybody to God. Brother Baglin said it best. He said, I've never won anybody to God without winning them to me first.
Right.
And that's not an ego thing.
Yeah.
It's like you have to create a relationship before you're ever going to connect them to God.
Amen.
So we got to change it from bus members to members of the church. I hate the term bus kids. I hate it. I don't like it. I mean, especially when you're saying, all right, bus kids, if you're a bus kid. I hate that. No, they're just church kids. They're all part of our church. I want them to see our church as their church. I want it to be theirs. We had that Sunday night thing where we were taking kids to church. We called it Adopt a Bus Kid. We didn't know what else to call it. We just, basically take someone under your wing and bring them to Sunday night service. Before COVID, before the world got flipped on its head, we would have a lot of them there. Maybe 30, 40-ish on a Sunday night service. And again, nothing organized, just people picking them up in their cars. And anyway, that's the way it should be. So let's talk about outreach. So we have a bus ministry. Now we got to make it grow. So we've got to do 2 things to make that happen. The first thing is we're going to talk about is get more kids. We've got to get more kids. So there's different outreach sessions. So we're not going to revisit all of that, but we are going to go over some things. But you can never go wrong with consistent, regular, every week outreach. And if you hit the same door every week, that's not a bad thing. We've even got to the point of on our street, I want to know who's behind every single door. So I'm finding this is actually really liberating. I'm back on a bus route, a single bus route for the first time in a long time, because I don't have to oversee it all. Brother Julian's taking care of that, so I get to focus on one route. So I'm helping with the blue route, and so we'll go back to, I have Las Palmas and I have Lorraine, and those 2 streets, I want to know who's behind every single door. Before I knock it, I want to have their name. So what we do is we make a map of the entire street, go to Google Maps, take a snapshot of the street, and write in all the addresses, and then next to it I'll write the name of every person that's behind it. So when we knock on door 473, and they answer, hey, how you doing? To have the conversation, and I'll say, what's your name? Well, my name's Ann. Oh, good to meet you. My name's Phillip. And so I'll write Ann. And I'll write anything else I know about it. Has kids, doesn't have kids, interested, not interested, speaks Spanish, any of that. I'll put it all on there so I know this. The next time I get to that door, I know I'm going to talk to Ann, and I know she has kids, and I know they might be interested. So anything I can add to those notes, I'm going to keep building it. So in a perfect world, I'll eventually know where every single person lives. I know who has kids, who doesn't, who's the grandma. The brother Tyler says we invite everybody. And that's absolutely the truth. So if I do see a scooter in the yard, I'm going to invite them to Sunday school, and I'm going to invite the parents to come with them. I have the approach of, I'll tell them, I'm a dad too. I want to know where the kids go. I want to know where my kids are at, and I'm sure you're the same. So why don't you come with them? At least once. You can come sit in their classroom with them. I want you to know exactly what they're experiencing. And it's not that a parent is ever going to say, nah, I just don't care, just take them. But they'll be, no, I trust you guys. I trust you guys. But at least they know the invitation's out there. Another thing I make it really clear is I'll tell them, hey, just try it once. Just try it once. If you don't like it, don't come back. I said, but if you come, you're going to like it. So just be prepared to come back. But just try it one time. Just give us a chance. Before you say no, just show up, and I'll never ask you again. I promise I'll never ask you again if you don't want to come back. Deal? And half the time they're going to, I'll still think about it. But it definitely puts it on the table. Hey, I want you just to try to experience what we're doing. Do outreach every single week, no matter what. So for this conference, our weekends were shot. Normally we do it on Saturday, so we went out on Wednesday. And this is just how it worked. We got out of the car. There was a lady standing on the sidewalk. Doesn't always happen this way, but she had a kid with her. And there's this weird instinct. I'm here to talk to people, but if they're outside of their house, I can't talk to them. Like, have you noticed that weird dynamic? It's like we have to avoid people that aren't where they're supposed to be.
That's good.
Well, so she's on the sidewalk, and so let's go talk to her first before we ever hit a door. So we talked to her, of course, made her kid an animal balloon. Well, they had to tell their friends about the animal balloons, so they brought their friends and their friends. By the time it was done, we made 15 different balloons. We had several families out there. We had 2 signed up for this coming Sunday. They're supposed to be there this Sunday morning. Because, we just talk to everybody. We talk to everybody. I don't care where they're at. If there's a guy with a backpack walking on the street, he's going to get an invite. If there's a group of kids, I'm going to, again, I don't have to qualify everything, right? You got to be careful. You don't want to go hand out, a 30-year-old guy handing out candy to kids. That's weird. But I always have kids with me. So I invite my nephew, I invite my nieces, I get them all, I'm surrounded by little kids before I ever get to the door. So I'm like, okay, I'm not suspicious. I try to take the creepy factor away. Oh, yeah. This happened on Wednesday, this same Wednesday. So I knock on a door, we have a great conversation with this lady. She's like, yes, I'm coming. This is a different door. She said, yes, I'm definitely coming, but I have my own car, I'm going to drive my own. I said, okay, cool. What's your name? She said, my name's Karina. Cool, my name's Phillip, and this is my niece. And my brain just flipped a switch, and I could not remember Avalon's name. It's my niece, good grief. And she probably thought I paid this kid to be with me or something. So, I'm such an idiot. And then Avalon's looking at you. That wasn't weird at all. Okay. But not everything goes perfectly. But I read on a Baptist website, this is a Baptist website, on their bus ministry. And these are the requirements that they put on their bus captain. They said every bus captain must put between 5 and 8 hours per week on outreach. This is on a Baptist bus ministry website. And this is just like an explanation of the duties. I don't go on outreach 5 to 8 hours a week. There ain't no way. I could never pull that off. But can you imagine what would happen if we did? Can you imagine if we put that into practice? The bottom line is the more time you spend on outreach, the more people you're going to get.
Right.
It's an easy formula. Brother Spell said he doesn't even have to ask if you're doing outreach. He just looks at the number, how many you brought that week. He said, that tells me all I need to know. I know you're doing outreach, you're not. He said, if your bus is low, you didn't do outreach. If it's full, you did. It's not, that's grossly simplified. Okay, I know that there's ups and downs. Okay, I know that. But it's like a farmer going to his field and like, whoa, look at this corn. Where'd that come from? That's awesome. Or it's all dead and it's all, man, that's weird. Why is this corn dead? Well, because you took care of it or you didn't. That's how it works on a bus. It's called the law of the harvest. The harder you work, the more they're going to come. And I'm not going to tell this whole story, but there was a big church, real big church, and they had a massive bus ministry. Well, there was this one boy, the pastor said, someone sent him a note and said, dude, this guy brought a lot of people to church today. And he's like, okay. He said, no, like a lot. And he's okay, well, bring him up. So they brought him on the platform. And he said, hey, I heard you brought a lot of people to church. How many did you bring? And he said, he's like this real geeky looking dude, like really just awkward and just didn't want to be in front of everybody. How many did you bring? And he said, a lot. How many did you bring? It was like 620 kids, this one guy. And the pastor stopped. He's like, well, there's no way. How do you bring 600 kids? He goes, well, me and my wife had 5 weeks of vacation, so we took it all at once. And we've been doing outreach for 10 hours a day for the last 5 weeks. And so we filled up a bus, so we rented a second and a driver. We rented a third, fourth. They were running 16 buses, one kid, in 5 weeks of being off. And this one kid brought 600 kids to church that Sunday. That's the law of the harvest works. The more time you put in, the more kids you're going to bring. And the more parents you're going to bring. So it just boils down to how bad do we really want it? How bad do we want it? Part of it, though, is not just getting them, it's keeping them. So how do we keep them on, keep them wanting to come? Again, what Brother Wayne said, control the elements you can. I'm not talking about Sunday school right now. We tell our bus team, make your ride so much fun that they'll come just for you, even if they go to a terrible class. We tell our Sunday school teachers, make your class so much fun that if the ride is horrible, they still want to come just for your class. And if the two happen together, that's what it's all about. So we've got to have fun on the bus trip. Fun is how you got them there initially, and that's how you're going to keep them. So if their class is boring, make the trip fun. So here's some ways that we have fun on the bus. Number one, this is as simple as it gets, is you talk to them. I know that's simple, but you'd probably, well, not if you've been in bus ministry for a while, but you'd be surprised how many bus workers don't follow that one rule of talking to kids. They're playing on their phones, sitting there talking to each other. They're talking to everybody but the kids. That's the one person that they're there for, and they're ignoring it. So talk to the kids, interact with them, and we tell the drivers to be involved too. You're part of this thing. Make it fun when they come on. At least give them a high five when they get on the bus. Do something. Show that you care about them as well. So talking to a kid's hard. It can be hard. Like if you're older, what do you have in common with an 8-year-old? I don't know what they deal with. I don't know what they talk about. So here's just something very simple to carry on a conversation is the acronym FISH, F-I-S-H. F is for family. You can always talk to them about family. You have any brothers? You have any sisters? You have mom, dad, aunt, uncle? Who do you live with? Start asking about it because they usually will be willing to talk about that. And then there's interests, the I. What are you interested in? What do you like? And usually it's video games. And so I try to at least acquaint myself with the ones that I'm okay with. You know, oh, okay, that's cool. So what games do you play? Oh man, I'll maybe even maybe this is a little weird, but oh yeah. So you like Fortnite? That's cool. That's cool. How many wins did you get this week? Really? Oh, man, you're not good. You'll never be a streamer. You know, just mess with it. Yeah. I'll pick 4 or 5 streamers that I've heard of, and I'll be like, yeah, well, you know, one day you can maybe be like Ninja. Maybe you could like, I don't know. I just stupid stuff. I know nothing about this. I'm just regurgitating nonsense that I heard. But they don't. Just carrying a conversation. What are you interested in? And the S is for school. Talk to them about school. You have school yet? Are you in school? Is it online? Zoom? You like Zoom classes? Oh, me either. They're horrible. Ugh. And just carry on a conversation. And then the last one is hobbies, which hobbies are pretty interchangeable for me, but it's a good way to remember it. But talk to the kids. That's the number one. We do what's called a hallelujah chant. Our bus driver has to stop at a railroad crossing anyway. You got to open the doors and listen. So we use that as an opportunity. Every time we get to a railroad crossing, we open the door and scream, ready, guys? 1, 2, 3! Hallelujah! Every time we get to a railroad crossing. And the first time they hear it, they jump out of their seat, like, what was that? Oh, yeah, man, we're always praising God. You know, we just have fun. And so we do that every time we come to a railroad crossing. We have a chant when we pull in the parking lot. We maybe not do this one quite so loud, but we'll pull up and there's a light right at the corner of Bloomington and Cactus. And the second it turns green, the timing is perfect for us to finish it right when we pull in. So we go, give me a J!
J, you got your J, you got your J.
Give me an E!
E, you got your E, you got your
And we'll
E.
spell out the word Jesus, then we'll go, J is for Jesus, E is for eternity, S is for Savior,
the rest
the rest
is
is
for
for us. And then, who loves you? Who's going to
Jesus.
give you the Holy Ghost?
Jesus.
Anyway, that's our chant. Decorate the bus for upcoming events or maybe just for fun. We sing bus songs. Not everybody likes this. I do. I think bus songs are fun. If you don't like singing, at least play something. Get a Bluetooth speaker. Get a sound system in your bus. Our buses are so old. I don't think they could. I don't know that speakers would even stick to them. Actually, we got a couple newer ones.
Mine has a.
Yours has a sound system? Probably air conditioning. Yeah.
Very
Yeah. Nice. Ours doesn't. Ours blows hot. All right. Anyway, so do something. Have sound. But if you're going to sing songs, there's a lot of good ones you can teach the kids. Who is the King of the Jungle is fun. In Right, Out Right. I've been redeemed. I've been redeemed by the blood of the Lamb. Then, oh, you can't go to heaven on roller skates. No, you can't. And that song alone will take you 20 minutes if you want. You can go through so many variations on a pogo stick, on a red Corvette. You can go forever. And we've written a lot of our own verses. Let's see. Balloons. Balloons are awesome. On outreach and on the bus, balloons are just really cool. So I always have balloons in my pocket, especially on outreach. I don't always have a pump though. That's the problem. So I had to figure out how to blow these things out. It's not super fun. My face turns red and I feel lightheaded and dizzy, but you can do it. So I brought this because I don't want to do it, quite frankly. But balloons on outreach. This is the way I do it on outreach. I'll go to a door and knock on it. Hey, have you heard about our Sunday school before? You haven't? Oh man, it's awesome. We have buses that go all over the city, pick up kids, teens, moms and dads, grandma and grandpa, everybody. The whole family is welcome, and we go to our church. Now, before you say anything, it's church, but it's not church like you know It is exciting. It's so much fun from the second they step on, for the adults to the kids. We have breakfast, it's free. We got games provided, we got science experiments and magic tricks, and we do all kinds of stuff. It's so much fun, and guess how much it costs? Dude, it's free. It's all for free. Seriously. Isn't that crazy? Hey, we're doing animal balloons today. Would you like an animal balloon?
Sure.
Or would you like a sword, poodle, turtle, something like that? How about a turtle? Turtle is cool. Turtle. I like a turtle. I figure you're a turtle kind of guy. Awesome. So we're doing free animal balloons, and and I'll say it loud because I know if there's a kid within 20 yards, they're coming. We're doing free animal balloons. We do this all the time. Every Sunday, we're doing these. So if you come next week, I'll make you another one, all right? So if you come on Sunday, I'm going to hook you up. Cool. So this one actually goes on your wrist. If you want to stick your wrist out there, goes there, just like that. Perfect. All right, cool. So we'll see you on Sunday. Perfect. I just need your phone number. And anyway, but those are perfect. And you do them. I do the turtles and the poodles because they're fast, and the swords. I don't make anything else. Those are the three that I make all the time because I can make them in probably 30 seconds and go to the next one. And then on the bus, when they come in, they're always making balloons. There are balloon fragments everywhere. In every crevice, every nook. When we sweep, they're falling from the ceiling. It feels like they're everywhere. They cost about $14 for a big bag. Get them from balloons.com. They're the cheapest place. It's wholesale. But you just make an account, and from then on you can order. If you have no tax. If you don't have to pay tax for your church, you can submit your deal and you don't get charged tax either, which is nice. But you can get pumps there. There's about $5. You can get all this on Amazon too, but you're going to pay a premium. I think on Amazon they're about $10 for 100 balloons versus $15 for 250. So you'll save quite a bit there. I think they come out to about 20 cents a balloon. So that's how much roughly they cost. Jokes are great on the bus if you're telling them. Don't ever let them tell them. Yeah, that'll take a nasty turn fast. So we tell the jokes, and when they start, let's sing a song. All right. Yeah, they don't tell jokes. Games are fun on the bus. But obviously, you're limited by space and mobility. So one that we did this on Sunday, is all right, guys, I got $1. First person that sees and just fill in the blank, a police car. First person that sees a police car is going to get this $1. And maybe I'll throw out 4 or 5 things: a police car, a red Corvette, a broken mailbox, or a black door on a house. If you see any of those things, I'm going to give you $1. And from then on, their eyes are just peeled to the side of the bus, and they're occupied. They're paying attention. Trivia questions from class. Make sure you know what they learned about in class, so you can ask them questions over it and reward them for it. We try to make them feel really special when they show up. When they get to the church, it's not just, all right, you're here, get out. We try to make it more fun than that. We're still building back up to this, but we have a red carpet we roll out for them. They walk on. One of those big happy men, we already mentioned that. We have a banner that says, what does it say? Holy Ghost, kids, happiest place this side of heaven, or something like that. There's a check-in table. Anyway, we try to make it fun. What are some ways you can make growth outside of outreach? One thing that I used to do, I haven't done this in a while, but I would give $1 to everybody that brought a new person, a real $1. So this is not church budget, this is just something that I would account for. Have some dollars in my pocket, and if it was just an ongoing thing, they knew if they brought a kid, I would give them $1 and the new kid $1. And that was a one-time thing, so you have to bring someone else new to get another $1 next time. And we would, what does that cost you? $10 on a good Sunday? That's worth every penny. You have 5 new kids there, we spend more than that on flyers, so to me it's worth it. So if you don't have dollars to give, maybe you can give the Sunday school dollars. If you have a Sunday school store, give those to them instead. Follow-up. Follow-up is absolutely vital to growing your bus ministry. Now, if you're doing outreach and you're hitting every door every week, then your follow-up is just built into your outreach. But if you are, worst case, if you're in a rush and you have to just hit your regulars, which is not ideal, but if you have to, that's not even outreach, that's just follow-up. Outreach is when you're reaching outside of your group that you're already hitting. Follow-up is visiting every single kid on your route, or calling them, texting them, something just to contact. Hey, just checking on you. Are you coming this Sunday? Every single Sunday. I don't care if they come for 4 years, I'm going to tag in with them and just make sure that they're coming. By that time, I'm hoping that they've transitioned into like Furman. He's not a bus kid anymore. So now we could even ask him, hey, why don't you get up early and wake up the kids on your street, and so he could be doing work before we even get to him. There's a couple more little things. Is when kids get the Holy Ghost on your bus route, make it a big deal. This is a big deal. Go home with them, walk them to their house, talk to the parents about it. Hey, I really want you to know what happened. This is a neat thing that just happened. You got the Holy Ghost, explain it. And hey, if you got a few minutes, I'll be happy to walk you through everything the Bible talks about this experience, and you could turn it quickly into a home Bible study. Baptisms are a great way to get parents to come to church. We need to do this again, but we did a baptism Sunday where we had all the kids that got the Holy Ghost, give them the opportunity, talk to their parents, get permission slips signed, and we had several of them baptized on a Sunday. Let's skip past some of this. Team unity. Keeping your bus team all on the same page. We have meetings every Sunday morning. 8:15, we all get together. We pray for 30 or 15 minutes, and then we have just kind of a sharing of information. We have breakfast provided. It's nothing fancy. It's like Pop-Tarts and coffee is about all we got. Orange juice. Sometimes they have Red Bull for the drivers. They have the last couple weeks anyway. But create some team unity. Do stuff together. Have them over to your house. We need to do it again. We did it at Christmas the last time we did it, but we need to do it again. So for your bus team, a good mix of energy and maturity is ideal. You got to have those people that are excited and just and then you got to have the people that are meticulous, the attendants, and we're going to make sure every kid gets a wristband. We're going to make sure every permission slip signed. We're going to make sure that everything's taken care of. But yet you have those that are the fun on the bus. But everybody does outreach. You need drivers. Buses are great, but they're work. Anybody that has a bus, you know that those things can be a pain in the neck, but they're awesome. You can only fit so many people in a car, so many people in a van, but a bus is really great. We got a place down in LA that we just got 3. One was given to us for free, but 2 of them we had to buy. But they're like 20 passenger, and they're just a really good size. They're perfect because you can still walk through them. You can still have all the fun and the games, but yet they're not so massive that they're hard to park and maneuver. Permission slips. Again, we're talking about taking this to the next level. When you first start out, maybe you're not even having permission. Maybe where you're from, you don't need permission slips. I don't know. I'm talking from a California point of view. We have to have permission slips, especially in the post-COVID world. On ours, it absolutely says if you get COVID at our church, it ain't our fault, basically. If something happens, you're basically signing that it's okay. I'd be happy to share that with you if you need it. We do have these signed annually, not every Sunday. So they don't sign these every single time they come. It's a one-time or a yearly thing that the parents sign. We do take attendance. If you don't track it, you can't fix it. You can't build it. If you don't know even know how many you're picking up. Brother James Wayne has an app that he wrote called Trawler. And it's just a good way of keeping track of your leads. Like if you have someone that said they're coming, but they've never come, you can turn it into a lead. And then when they actually show up, it converts it right to a member of your bus now. You can track attendance. You can also tell when they stop coming. You know, you can make it, anyway, you can print out any type of spreadsheet where you can say, when's the last time they visited? It's been too long since they came. I'm going to make something special for them because they haven't come in a while. We do attendance to track long-term attendance, so we can reward monthly or quarterly attendance, like Brother Wayne was talking about. If they have 8 out of 10 Sundays or 10 out of 12 Sundays, I want to reward that. I want everybody to be excited for them. We use wristbands for our vehicles. We have a different color for every bus. So we got green, red, blue, purple, orange, and yellow. Is that this one? I think that's it. What's the new route? Did they even pick a color?
It's just called. They're converting to numbers.
Oh, well, so we were using those. We're going to have, we ran out of colors, so we're going to numbers. But if wristbands are annoying or take too long or cost too much, just use a marker right on the back of their hand, number 1. bus 1, bus 2, whatever. Name tags. We use name tags. In fact, my Sunday school coat that I wore last night had my name tag on it. We use those because I want to know their names, and they're not easy to know every time. Sometimes their names are complicated, or they're very close to their siblings. We had one family, like all 5 of them were variations of the same name. It was crazy. Like, anyway, it was wild. There's no way I could remember it without their name tag. So what I do is every week I add them into a database, and if they've showed up one time in the last 5 weeks, it'll print a name tag for them. If they haven't been in 5 weeks, it drops them off. So I'm not printing name tags for kids that either aren't ever coming again, or maybe it's been so long. And if they come and they want a name tag, they go to our check-in station and we handwrite them a name tag. Wake-up teams, right now we're not running any wake-up teams, but if your routes get too long and you cannot get back in time, which will happen, you have this one door. You always have that one door that takes forever to get ready. You guys all know who it is in your head. Oh yeah, that door. And everybody else is outside and waiting, but they're not even awake yet. But you want them to come. You really want them to come. And you're willing to wait, but you can't all the time. Especially if you got to get back and you have breakfast for the kids, and now you're showing up 15 minutes into the lesson and you've wasted. It's just, it's tough. So worst case, you can create a wake-up team where a driver just in the vehicle will go drop off a bus worker at every one of your stops. And they wake up all the kids in that area and get them all ready ahead of the bus. So you drop them off 15, 20 minutes ahead of time. So the bus is just picking up groups and coming back to the church. If you don't get an answer on a door, I don't know if you guys have ever experienced this, but you knock on a door on Saturday, they say, yes, I want to come. You go Sunday, you knock on the door, nobody answers. You beat on the door, you really beat on the door, nobody answers, and you leave. You're like, man, what happened? And then the next week, hey, why didn't you come for us? Like, dude, what do I have to do? Throw a brick through your window? Like, I knocked on the door for 15 minutes. Well, I had him say that. I was like, okay, fine, you'll know I came. So we made door hangers, and these hang on your door. It says, we missed you. We tried to wake you up, and you didn't wake up. So we actually are running out, so we were printing new ones. Let's see. A couple other items just for advancing your bus ministry is safety. Safety is something you actually got to worry about. We have an annual training that everybody has to go to now. We just turned it into video form 2 days ago. We just recorded it, and we're putting it online, so if someone new wants to join, we just send them the link, they watch it, and when they're done, they sign off, yes, I've watched and actually paid attention to this. They can't just skip through it. But these are some of the things it covers is road safety, traffic safety, fire safety, medical safety. What happens if a kid has a seizure on your bus? What happens if you get in a car wreck on your bus? What happens if the bus catches on fire? Yeah, that happened to us as it pulled into the parking lot. Was you guys there? You remember that? Yeah, that was fun, wasn't it?
That's my bus,
Yeah, oh, it was your bus? Yeah. Yeah, so that Sunday morning, I was dressed up like Peter, because it was Easter, and I was going to be in the drama, and I remember laying under the bus, covered in oil, couldn't hardly breathe, because it's a stupid fire extinguisher. I didn't realize it takes all the oxygen out. I guess that's how it works. Yeah. And I was laying under there just thinking, this is not how I envisioned Easter happening this year. But it happened, and you got to know what to do. What do you do when the bus catches on fire?